Hello everyone and welcome back to Allcarnews, and today we have the F150 Lightning. Finally on our channel. It's been all over the place, and honestly this is a pretty cool truck. More impressed with it in person than I thought it was going to be, and well, here it is, an XLT trim. Now as an XLT trim you have two options of battery packs here. You get the standard range battery or you can get the extended range battery, and this one has the extended range battery. Now that does jump the price up from around in the mid 50s to over $70,000, so it's like a $76,000 truck. Of course there is the tax credit. I believe this thing still has it, but it definitely gets expensive, and since it's the XLT you're not getting a lot of nice interior features and stuff. But if you do want that, you can opt for the Lariat trim, which goes above this, and as well as the Platinum trim, which is the top end, fully loaded, over $90,000. And you are getting all the features with that, but you actually get less range in the Platinum because you get bigger wheels. So this one can get around 330 miles of range if you're kind of babying it. This one has the smaller wheels, of course, not too bad in person. Towing, this one does not have the maximum towing package. So if you had the maximum towing package, you would be getting up to around 10,000 pounds of maximum towing. This one is around the 7,700 pound mark. Now, if you are going to be towing, this one has the towing package. You are going to be getting worse range, which we'll talk about a little bit, but let's just talk about the design of the F-150 Lightning first, and then we'll get into all the nitty-gritty details because this is a pretty cool truck. Okay guys, up front on the design of the F-150 Lightning. Now again, this is in the XLT trim. There is a lower entry kind of pro version for kind of commercial buyers, and again, this is the kind of the mid-tier. Once you add this battery pack, it gets pretty expensive. But regardless, up front we have the really cool light bar. Honestly, in person, not my favorite thing actually. So it's a little dim in person, and it always is white. It is on right now, as you can kind of see the LEDs flickering. Interesting kind of design, but it does definitely make it stand out more than the regular F-150s, the gas versions, of course, and the plug-in hybrid ones. And it definitely has a nice road presence, which is cool. We also have these stacked LED headlights right here, as you can see. Not bad. And of course, this is a full plastic front grille kind of thing. And of course, the gigantic front is up front above there. The rest of the general design on the F-150 is not bad for the Lightning. Down here, you can see there are some lower air vents for battery cooling that are open right now because it is ridiculously hot out right now. It's like 95 degrees at like 8 p.m. So pretty hot. We do have two kind of recovery hook bars on the front as well. And then we do have our charge port on this side, which we'll get to in a second. So right here, as you can see, this is a charge port. If you want to open it, pop it open. Regular charging. If you want to open it for DC charging, you do have that right there as well. You can unlock and lock the charge port from this area as well, which is pretty cool. Now, on the other side of the vehicle, there is an actual piece that looks just like this. It doesn't open, unfortunately, so you don't have two charges, you only have one. But I guess they just did that for design reasons. I'll just show you guys the other side really quick because it does have that other panel right here. Like I said, it doesn't do anything. It's just that's this fake panel, so not bad. We do still get the old standard antenna on front, unfortunately, but I guess people still like that. You could also unscrew it if you don't want to look at it, but then you're going to lose your AM radio stations. Now, up front is the big party trick of the Lightning, and you double tap the key 2 times right here. It is power. Okay, that's so cool. So not only is it power, you do get a lot of space in here. I think it's around 400 liters of space, and it can hold a lot of weight. So this thing alone can hold 400 pounds, and you can fit a lot of storage stuff in here, obviously. And they also are giving you these power outlets over here. So you have 4 household outlets, so a USB-C port and a USB port. That's awesome. Nice cover for it, watertight cover as well, which is really nice. You do have a little bit of a storage coming back here, and your 12-volt battery is behind this panel as well, which is really nice. You can see the Ford emblem stamped right, and there's a lot of cool Easter eggs throughout this entire vehicle. For example, if I pop this open, this says made in the USA right here, and I believe that is a drain plug right under there, so you couldn't make this wet and just kind of drained it out. This also is a feature in the Mach-E as well. There's also a light in here that turns on, of course, LED up there, really nice. And of course, since this thing is so big, there is an escape hatch right here. If someone gets stuck in there, they can push that button and they can get out. So really cool stuff from that end. If you need to close it, simple push of a button, as it is motorized, and it will shut up for you super easily. So that is motorized. Unfortunately, there's no kind of motorized doors or anything else. That would have been a cool feature. It has the short rear bed, and of course, the crew cab only. This is the only configuration you can get the Lightning in right now. Not sure if they're going to change this in the future, but we're still early on in this kind of whole electric truck world, so this is still a new thing to them, and I think it's fine. The proportions look really good, actually, and you still do get a lot of storage back here with this shorter bed. And back to the details, because there's so many cool details. Lightning badges on the sides, and they are kind of like 3D etched on there. Really cool blue accents around it. Really love the taillights on the Lightning. Look at that. I think those are epic. And of course, there's another really cool badge right down here, the American flag and this kind of lightning bolt on that. Really cool badge as well. And then of course you can pop your tailgate down with the push of a button, and that is power as well. Awesome stuff. And I like how Ford's kind of integrating all these like measurement things. So you got a ruler thing going on in here, some tie down points, other little slots for stuff as well. I believe this is a bottle opener, which is really cool. And also back here is where you get your bigger utility power outlets. So you get more household ports, a 240 volt port, and more household ports as well. This is to power them on. So it really is a whole power station. Of course, everyone's heard of this Ford is pitching this thing is you're able to kind of power your house with it. You do need to kind of adapt your house to actually allow this thing to be plugged into it. So that's a whole other process, but technically it can do it. And as with other regular F-150s, you do have the kind of arm that sticks out from there and the stairs, all those pretty much traditional features. And if you do want to pull it back up, you can just pop it back up as well, which is easy. Like I said, if you do need to tow more stuff, you can kind of just leave it down like this. Not too bad. Let's see if I can get this out. So of course there's the stair that pops out over here. And of course Ford has their little kind of grab handle you can kind of stick out and step up into the bed if you need to get up there. Pretty cool stuff. 1, 2, make sure it locks in place. Really nice. And yeah, and this is the whole rear end of the Lightning. Let me just do a little pan out shot so you guys can see what it looks like from here. I think it looks really cool with these lights on. So let's go take a little bit more tour on the exterior a little bit. I want to show you the undercarriage of this thing because there's some massive body parts and suspension components that are just nuts and unique to the Lightning. And we'll hop on the interior and take it for a quick little drive. Awesome, as you can see, the bed is also powered. Coming around to the back, have your cameras all throughout this entire vehicle, massive Ford logo, and of course the F-150 badging. You got your parking sensors in the bumper as well. And this is what I want to show you guys really quick. Check out the size of those rear arms. Massive, completely cast aluminum. Now this has an independent rear suspension, unlike the regular F-150s. And since this is, of course, dual motor, there's always going to be the motor in the rear, and then up front is another motor, obviously. But you can just see everything back right here. Massive stuff, and I just can't get over the size of those arms. A lot of people have been talking about it, and it's just one of the biggest pieces of like aluminum you're ever really going to see in the automotive world right now. But of course, as more and more EVs come out, we may start seeing this more, especially with pickup trucks. Now it is still a body on frame vehicle. Just check those out. Look at the size of those things. Absolutely massive, and that's on both sides. Of course, the battery pack is right under the floor, right under there. And right as we are down here already, we might as well check out the running boards. More LED lighting on the sides of those as well. Really nice stuff. Another peek into the bed, and there are cameras everywhere. There's a camera for your bed, there's a camera for the rear, there's a camera built into the side mirrors. You can check that out right there. There's also a camera up front, right in the Ford badge. Yeah, so you got cameras all over the place. So 360-degree vision at all times. Let's go take a hop inside and I can show you guys what this interior looks like. Okay guys, popping in the interior of the F-150 Lightning, I'm actually going to start with the back because this is the crew cab. We can check out how much space we have back here. Now, since it is the XLT, you're not getting leather. You're getting the cloth seats. Unfortunately, sure, this one has the extended range battery. Sure, it's already over $70,000, but this is what you're going to be having to deal with unless you upgrade to Lariat or the Platinum trims, and you're going to want some nice materials inside. On the door panels, you kind of have this like vinyl material stitched across. I'm not sure what this is. It's kind of like a plastic material. And your typical switches, door handles. Inside, you never really know it's an electric vehicle. Pretty much typical F-150 stuff. Now, there is a huge amount of space in these crew cabs, especially. Just check this stuff out. You can fit so many people back here, so much stuff, and the seats do fold up and down. Unfortunately, you don't get the roll down rear window. That's only on the higher trims as well, so you are missing out on even more stuff. This one also doesn't have any sort of moonroof or panoramic roof as well. That's also on the higher trims, unfortunately. Back here, you do have some charging paraphernalia. If you need some charging accessories, you have a house outlet. You have a USB port, USB-C, as well as a cigarette lighter, your air vents, cup holders, and that's pretty much it up here. So let's hop out and let's go back into the front. Now this one does not have the massive 15.5 inch screen. This is still pretty big, and honestly I like this better how it looks. So if you upgrade to the higher trims, you get the bigger vertical screen instead of this horizontal one, and you get it's basically the screen from the Mach-E. But honestly I think this one's a little better. It looks nicer, better integrated, and honestly I prefer it. But I think if you go for the higher trims, you're kind of forced to have it, unfortunately. Up here, again, pretty much similar stuff you're going to see with a regular F150. And with the cloth seats, unfortunately, they are power and they do have lumbar support as well, which is nice. Hopping inside, shut the door up. Again, all the same materials we're seeing on the sides as well. We do have a fully digital dashboard, which is really nice. Leather wrapped steering wheel, so you do get a little bit of leather in here. This one does have cruise control and stuff, and all your kind of controls over here, which is really nice. And of course, as I said before, we do have this larger display. So if I just pop the ignition on, you can see that turn on. The latest Sync 4 system, so pretty quick, pretty responsive. This is probably one of the more responsive ones you're going to find, actually. Even in the new Lincolns, it's not this quick, and it's running the same software, just not the same processor, because this one is pretty quick. You also have your drive modes right here. So you have normal, sport, off-road, tow, haul, and you do have a one-pedal driving function and a locking differential if you want to attempt to take this thing off-road. This one does have the tow package, but it does not have the extended towing. I think the upgraded towing package where it can tow more. You just have all the towing features. So you can have the trailer turner over here, additional cameras and stuff, but not, and I think this is the trailer brake controller. But you don't have the additional towing up to 10,000 pounds. This one's around 7,700. I'm going to put the exact figure right there for you guys. And again, with all the other F-150s, we have the retracting and going up. This is so stupid to me. Of course, yeah, the whole point of it is you can get a lot of space by folding this down. You have a whole workstation. Honestly, this is really nice, but they could have just gone with a dial, personally. I know they kind of wanted to have a traditional size shifter for, I guess, the trucking world. People like to hold on to a shifter, but I don't know. I can just see this thing going wrong in the future, but let's hope and pray it doesn't. But yeah, we'll see. Leather wrapping over here. I believe this is leather or some kind of leatherette on here. Again, your cup holders for back here, and you have additional cup holders up here, a little slot, and some more storage over here. Just don't put anything in the storage over here. I guess that's where your shifter is going to fold up and down sometimes. Now, you do still have a center console, which is absolutely massive as per usual. A little bit of a storage cubby that you can move around as well, which is nice. Close that up. And since you don't have the massive 15-point-something inch screen, you do get traditional buttons, which are fantastic. So you have your separate climate control buttons down here. You have your separate volume and tuning buttons, which is really nice. I think this is great. This system's completely fine. But yeah, if you do go for the higher trims, you're going to get that a 15.5 inch vertical screen instead. Over here, we have some more power outlets. This thing's full with power outlets, really nice. And of course, your dual kind of storage cubbies. One down there, one up here, really cool. And yeah, more storage up here. So yeah, you definitely have a lot of storage in the F-150 for sure. And I don't know, it is still a nice interior, but once you start looking at the price and knowing that you can get more for not that much more money, yeah, they're really hard to get though, unfortunately, right now due to the chip shortage and the high demand of these. So it is difficult to get them. I hope once that calms down, it will be easier. Now, looking at this multifunction display, you can see the charging status right here. So we're at 74%. And like I said before, this gets around 320, 330 miles of range if you're kind of babying it. This, again, has the extended range battery pack. If you go for the standard range, you're going to be opting for around 260 max totals of miles of range. That is what the EPA says. I'm sure, depending on your driving style, that may vary, of course. And definitely if you're towing, you're going to get way lower range. On your lower left-hand side, you have automatic pedals, which is really cool. Your headlight controls, some more mirror light controls, which is really nice. And this is to open your front, I guess, frunk or giant front storage compartment, and your power rear tailgate as well as over there. And of course, your typical window switches as well, which is always in the same spot. Yeah, so I think we need to go take this for a little bit of a drive. I want to show you guys what this thing looks like when you're in the parking lot and you just step on the brake, because it squats so far down in sport mode when you're thinking it's going to launch. So let's have a look at that in a second, and we'll just see how this thing drives, because it's actually really nice. So let's go do that right now. Okay guys, so we're inside the F150 Lightning. Let's put the keys down over here, pop my seatbelt on. Let's take it on a short little drive. This thing is really, really nice inside. On these short drives, it's really, really fast. Again, this has the extended range battery pack. Let's just pop it on. All the screens come to life in front of you. This is actually a pretty configurable gauge cluster over here. I'm pretty surprised about that. In its mode right now, we're in normal mode, and you can kind of go through truck info, towing info, phone, audio settings, navigation. So you do have a lot of nice different stuff on here, which is really nice. And when you pop it into the different drive modes, you do get different stuff going on as well. So it's really cool. Now, when you pop over here, you can see your drive modes. And here you got normal, sport, off-road, tow haul, one pedal driving, and a locking differential. I don't like the one pedal driving. It's actually really, really aggressive. Not the biggest fan of that. But for all intents and purposes for now, let's just pop it into sport mode because it is pretty nuts actually in sport mode. Yeah. Let me just see, find a cool screen to keep it on over here for you guys. Power distribution screen's awesome. Pop into drive and we're in sport mode and let's head off. Just make sure we're safe over here. Sweet. Now, this thing, like I said before, has the fully independent suspension. And that massive battery pack out back, which is going to give you kind of that more planted feel. And I'm surprised of how this drives. This actually drives really, really well. Really solid, no jitteriness, no kind of like unstableness. It's really planted to the ground, of course, with the battery, and I feel really solid and safe in it actually, which is really nice. I wasn't expecting that getting into it, so that was a good thing to feel. Now the ride actually itself is pretty comfortable. Now this is a really poor road to kind of judge it on. It is really smooth, but we'll take it on a little bit of some bumps and ruts in a little second, and it actually is really smooth. I really am impressed with that. Now I don't know if that's due to the fact of the absolutely massive rear kind of like subframe control arms, but it is nice, or the battery being super heavy. But just a quick little acceleration pull, you can see how fast this is. Holy Jesus. It chirps the wheels. It's nuts. It is really nuts how fast this thing is. And like I said before, over 770 pound-feet of torque. It has over 550 horsepower, and it can pull. Now, every time you do those pulls, you are going to dramatically decrease all of your range, and it will go through it really quickly. So you want to be careful how much you do that, but it is really tempting when you have this much power on tap. Now, another issue that I have noticed with the Lightning is the turning radius is absolutely horrible. So this is full lock. This is a bad example, but there was a really sharp turn down another road over here, and I'll show you guys really quick here. Full lock. Terrible turning radius. You got to be careful where you're going. I don't know if that's due to the electric motors, and I haven't driven a regular F150, so I'm not too sure about its turning radius, but this one's not super good. We were driving a Bronco, and that had a much better turning radius, but of course that was a short wheelbase, so I'm going to digress there. Nonetheless, it is pretty comfortable. Really quiet in here. Now, this is an EV, so there's no motors or anything or engines making a sound, so as it is an EV, you got to have additional sound deadening, additional insulation, because you're going to be able to hear more things like tire noise. You're going to be able to hear wind and other stuff. And this is actually very well insulated inside of this F-150 Lightning. I'm really impressed by that, actually. They did a good job. It is really quiet in here. Now, when you do get off the throttle, if you come to a full stop, let me demonstrate this for you guys really quickly. You can kind of hear that electric motor whine. I'm going to be quiet for a second. There is a faint electric motor whine in the distance, which is really cool. But other than that, it is dead silent in here, and I do really like that. I think if you're going to get an expensive EV, and yeah, sure, it's $77,000 or $76,000 with this extended range battery pack, and sure, you don't get the nicer seats, whatever. But the powertrain, I think they did a really solid job on. And I'm kind of impressed by this one on that aspect. And yeah, it's just really comfortable to drive in. When you don't need to like be hauling around like a lunatic, you can pop it into normal mode, and it's a great daily car. Super comfortable, super soft. And that noise is really cool in the distance. Like I can whisper right now and you guys can't hear me. Like it's that kind of quiet. Let's pop around over here. Check out that turning radius again. Oh, I do have a lot more space there. But yeah. I am liking this a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. Now, of course, this is one of the main pickup trucks, electric pickup trucks on the market. Of course, we have the Rivian R1T, which is significantly more expensive, starting in the $70,000 range and going up from there. And then upcoming, of course, we have the Cybertruck, the Silverado EV, and a whole bunch of others on their way soon. So options are going to get wider and more broad, but right now this is probably a great pick. And if you can't get your hands on the Rivian, you might not be able to get your hands on one of these either, but if you can, they're impressive. A lot of capability. I am pretty impressed what Ford was able to do, and like with this platform. Now, this was not a ground-up EV platform. This was an F-150. They shoved batteries in. Totally re-engineered the entire rear end of the vehicle. And I think they did a great job. And this is our first real attempt at an electric pickup truck, and they beat almost everyone to the market. Really great job on them right here. Now, I'm going to take you guys outside of the car in a second, just so you can guys see what this thing looks like when it squats down and gets ready to launch, because it's nuts. Other than that, I'm going to conclude this drive. But yeah, I'm really liking this F-150 Lightning. I think they did an incredible job. Let's turn around over here. And for a truck platform, something with the frame, it drives super, super nice. Super, super nice. Really impressive stuff. And getting out of it's really easy. Put it into park. If you want to pop your shifter down, you can press the button to pop the shifter down and just power off. Simple. And that's the other great thing. The experience is just like a regular F-150. There's no kind of like EV-ness about it. If you're used to driving a pickup truck, it's a pickup truck that's powered by electricity. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this really short little drive of the F-150 Lightning. Quick launch incoming, but I really love this thing. Definitely go check it out if you're able to, and stay tuned for a lot more content coming from Allcarnews. Okay. Holy Jesus. This thing is quick, guys. This thing's really quick.